Hey everyone, welcome back to Hondro the Resilient. My name is Hondro, and thank you for joining me in this new video. I truly appreciate it. I want to put something out. I've been having a lot of ideas, and I said finally today I got to film. I got to film today. So here I am doing some ideas, and this topic I really feel is going to be revolutionary to the fitness industry, to fitness training, and quite frankly, to individuals with little to no fitness training education or knowledge. And it's pretty mind blowing. It's pretty mind blowing. Um, I've used it. I've had another person use it, and there's a few things that I would say need correction. But overall, I think this is going to be significant in how we classify training and how we do training, specifically weightlifting, and specifically weightlifting for now. Maybe even powerlifting, but I think it has its limits. What am I talking about exactly? I'm talking about Google's Gemini AI. PSA for those who are into fitness or just want to be optimal throughout your day. I got a confession. I've been using Transparent Labs for over 6 months now. I've been using the protein, their super greens, multivitamin, sleep and recovery vitamins, their hydration powder, and also their grass-fed colostrum. And quite frankly, I'm very impressed. I don't get any stomach aches like I did when I used other protein brands. With Transparent Labs, I don't feel bloated. I don't get any tummy aches. And quite frankly, my stomach is pretty sensitive. I want you to also be optimal in your day-to-day operations, whether it's at work, whether it's at the gym, whether it's running, whatever it is, you got to have your protein. And I'm proud to say Transparent Labs and I have partnered to give you 10% off. Use my link in the description below. Let's get back into the video. Okay, everyone, so please don't mind me. I'm going to be taking a look at my notes as much as I'm able to, but I'll try to focus here. Now, a couple of days ago, I was with my girlfriend and we're watching TV, right? We're watching YouTube. Commercial comes on about not Transparent Labs, AI, Google's Gemini AI. And I said, okay, cool, watch it. One thing I noticed that stood out to me was it provided the consumer, or in this case, the individual, some feedback. And I was a bit perplexed because I'm like, well, wait a minute, how does that work? And I got curious. I downloaded the app, logged into my Gmail account. The next day, I had a gym session, and I believe I was doing, I think it might have been legs or back and biceps in my current rotation. And I was doing a Smith machine. I had the phone right there. Mind you, I didn't really have a stand, so I really feel like if I had a stand where I can put my phone to where it's aligned with my face, right, as I'm standing, I think maybe I would get better results. But get this. The AI provided some feedback to me in terms of my posture, right, my form, and also even the intensity. So look, I was very impressed, very impressed about this, because consistency is one of the hardest things to master in fitness. You miss form cues, you don't track progress, you don't have a coach watching you every move. And I've been in a coaching program for quite a bit, and it's a online type of thing. And honestly, not many of us can afford to have a coach either way, right? You have to upload your videos that you take at the gym, send them, wait for some feedback. And even then, you must question, well, how reliable is that feedback? Because I'm at a certain angle at the gym, or I have my phone this way, right? So anyways, you can even question how reliable the AI is. So in this video, I just really want to break down 3 powerful ways Google's new AI could change how how quite frankly, the fitness training industry can teach us how to train, right? I think it's going to be revolutionary. I think it's going to have both a bad and a good significant impact on the fitness industry. And as we go more and more, it's only going to get better. And this is going to be a new form of competition. So if you don't get on this and you don't know how to start using this to train your clients, to help your brother, your sister, or whoever wants to get into fitness training, you're most likely going to get behind. Okay, so first thing first, right? Real time feedback from AI. So AI is not going to replace discipline, but it can replace guesswork. Okay, the live assistant watches your body and it gives you instant feedback on your posture, your range of motion, and reps that don't count. Now, imagine doing your squats and your phone tells you to drop 2 inches lower or your knees are caving in. That really is next level awareness, right? I don't know how. Maybe I was just weak that day. Maybe it was the weight that was a little bit too much for me. And that probably was the case. But, there's this thing about RPE, right? And the reps per session and the intensity that you put into your workouts. It's pretty significant to growing muscle, to progressing, right? Progressive overload. And so you do have to put on more weight. Now, some of us might do that when we're not ready. Some of us might do that when we're not fully warmed up, if you warm up. And so it can, okay, the AI can reduce injuries, and it does actually, for some reason it notices that this might be a little bit too much for you. Okay? Now, if you've been training quite often and hey, I got to get this workout to be more intense. Okay, you know what you're doing. I'm not saying that, you got to rely on AI for for the intensity and for the form. Okay, obviously pro bodybuilders didn't have AI, but average Joes like me, I mean, this could be very, very helpful. Okay, takeaway 2: adaptive programming. So most apps give you the same plan whether you're energized or exhausted, okay? But this AI learns and adapts to every session. Again, self-awareness from this AI, which I was really interesting. Hey, that might be a little bit too intense, or you seem like you were struggling a bit. So I still need to test this a little bit more. But going back to the concept of progressive overloading, if the more this system adapts to you as an individual, because each and every one of us are obviously different, it could possibly say, hey, you know what, maybe you plateaued in this section. Maybe, you need to up the intensity in this section here. And that could be useful to your training. Okay. Not every training is as effective. I really had a bad leg day 2 weeks ago. This past week, awesome leg day training. I was super happy. It was great. And it was great. I increased the weight, increased the intensity. It was awesome. The next day, obviously, I was just like a little bit tired. But what if this really could adapt more to you as an individual, right? To where maybe it does suggest to take a recovery day. It's watching you and saying, oh, I don't know, your form is a little bit off, or you're just not, you're kind of off, or maybe you don't realize it, but you're plateaued on a certain weight, and maybe it's time to increase the intensity, right? The weight, the reps, bring them down, heavier weight, maybe put the weight more up. Put the weight, decrease the weight, and then increase the reps, right? So adaptive programming. It's going to be interesting how Google, again, the Gemini AI is going to adapt to each individual, especially once you're using it more and more at the gym. We'll see how that works out. So, the third takeaway, and this is the final takeaway, is affordable and accessible coaching. Now, in earlier in the video, I mentioned that I've been in a coaching program for quite some time. I'm going to be honest, it is not cheap. It's done its job. I've learned a lot. I've attended educational courses, like live Zooms, learned. I mean, it's very outstanding. The reality is, it's not sustainable to each individual person, to the general population, is what I'm trying to say. Right? Number one, access in terms of, do people have the technology to be able to hop on, into Zoom meetings, to learn more about recovery, to learn more about the intensity of working out, to learn more about creatine, whatever it may be, right? But also the technology to film yourself so that you can critique your form, or have your coach critique your form and better you, right? Enhance your working out. And the other thing too is the cost. At the end of the day, the cost for a personal trainer, whether it's an online personal trainer or an in-person personal trainer, again, it is quite the cost. It's not cheap. And the other thing too that comes to mind is the cost of your nutrition. So let me first say this. Have I used ChatGPT to help me plan my next meal? Yes. And I can guarantee you that every fitness guru out there uses ChatGPT to generate meal plans, to generate their own next meal, okay? It's because it's very useful, okay? It is very, very useful. And I will even dare say that maybe there's some individuals who use it to make like to get ideas for their fitness content, right? So for example, what I mean by that is, okay, you can order this at Chipotle, you can order this at Panda Express, and it's going to help you with meeting your carbs, your protein. It has this amount of protein. It's remarkable, right? So could Google really enhance and create more of an equitable situation, not just in the United States, but also across the globe, for people who want to train to get better, instead of having to pay a lot of money to some fitness influencer who are pretty much all shot up, like all these enhancers, to get the body that they want. And again, that's to each their own. That's your own decision. But for many of us, we don't have time, we don't have the money to get a lot of like different enhancements into our system. It's just not possible. Okay? So I want to ask my audience, have you used the Gemini AI app to work out? Okay? And if you haven't, what is stopping you from using it? Do you not trust it? Is it something just taboo? What is it, right? Now, obviously, the AI is not going to live for you. It won't show up for you when you're lazy. It won't make you consistent, and it won't build, a hardcore mindset. But it can really be used as a tool to get you more consistent in a way. I just contradicted myself, but more consistent in a way, more efficient, and more confident. Because when you have real-time feedback, I think that really matters, and it's going to help a lot of people. So until the next video, stay resilient, build wisely, lead boldly.